very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the abridged version of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. As we speak, matches currently going on in the UEFA Champions League. 2 matches already concluded. We'll talk to you about all of that. Tomorrow is the big day in Nigeria. We're talking about sports federation elections. We'll be taking a look at some of the things happening. We'll also be on the show tonight with a few minutes. We have boxing is saying goodbye to a legend. Of course, we'll tell you about all of that as we go on the show. And of course, let's start with the biggest thing happening in Nigeria, talking sports, and it's going to happen tomorrow. Let's tell you about the federation elections that will take place tomorrow. Of course, there's going to be elections contested across all federations. Caretaker committees have been handling most of these federations up till about now. And so there will be the election tomorrow, and hopefully all things will go well. We will have election into the boards of those federations, and hopefully we will be able to get back to the basics, get back to sports and the way it should be. Let's quickly listen to the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, talking about his expectations and what he hopes to happen. And of course, hopefully that all of this will lead to development.
Well, if you have paid very close attention, you have seen the hands of the ministry, a deliberate effort to make sure that the playing field is leveled. When we issued a statement 2 weeks ago, it was in keeping faith with a plan we drew up in early May. That come September, as soon as we return from the Olympics, we'll allow the federations to conduct their elections. And we have kept faith with that, in spite of pressures to either extend it and say, no, we need to have that change. But secondly, we also announced that federations that have had their constitutions approved by the international bodies, without any interference, should go ahead, according to the dictates of their constitution, approved by their congresses. But those that do not have their constitutions approved by the international body will have to be subjected. We'll have to do that under the guidelines and also the code of governance. That shows that apart from being observers, NOC and the ministry, we are in observer status, they will have the full independence to conduct their elections. But let me say, litigations, we hope that we will not have a repeat of litigations. But you also know this some kind of politics. It's in the nature of politics. We just hope that this will be resolved amicably so that it will not hurt the sports. We look forward to a rancor-free election. We have the appeals committee, very credible people. And all you have to do is, if you have any grounds, you have any complaints, just follow the process. And then the appeal will go on. We want to make sure that none of this goes to court. We want to make sure it doesn't go to court so that the sports doesn't suffer.
Thank you.
All right, Minister for Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, talking about his expectation and speaking the minds of everybody, really, hoping that it's going to be rancor-free and that we do not end up in the courts because all of that will delay development. All right, Kaide Ahmed joins me on the show tonight as we look at some of these issues, and it will be interesting to get his thoughts on some of them. Greetings to you, Kaide. Thanks for finding out time to be with me on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Yemi. Good evening, Lagos.
All right, let's just dive straight into it, Kaide. You listen to the sports minister. Like I said, he's speaking our minds. We all hope that everything will go on smoothly tomorrow. And we won't get ourselves into the court. And there will always be issues, but hopefully we're able to sort it out so that the sports don't suffer.
Well, the sports minister has spoken well. And I'm going by what happened the last time that the national federations held the elections. It wasn't so rancor-free. A few of the teams, or let me say the federations, those who vied for presidency felt hard done by, and litigations were flying here and there. And like he did say, it's in the nature of politics for you to have complaints. Some will be dissatisfied as regards how the elections went, but he did say that there will be room for people to lay their complaints and it will be seen to appropriately. Like he did say, the guidelines will be followed for those whose constitution has not been ratified by the international bodies. And for those who have already gotten theirs ratified, the elections will hold tomorrow. And one can only hope that, like the minister did say, it's rancor-free. And the best part is the individuals, regardless of whose ox God gets to emerge victorious.
All right, that's what we're hoping for as well. All right, Kayode, as usual, on the show, we're pressed for time. So let's just move into something big that happened today. Of course, this boxing, Manny Pacquiao, the Filipino legend, says his goodbye to boxing. It's been emotional, and of course, he has not hidden his intention. He wants to run he wants to become the president of the Philippines. So, from the sports angle, let's quickly take a look at it, Kayode. I mean, how does it make you feel? Manny Pacquiao, he says he finds it hard to accept that the time is up, but he knows that he has to say goodbye.
Well, at some point, you have to say goodbye to the sport that has brought you fame and fortune. He not only represented the Philippines, he represented the continent. For the large part of the 26 years that he was a professional, he turned professional at the age of 16. And this man won 12 major world titles across 8 weight divisions. The only man to have done that. And we know we have seen different classics from the likes of Juan Manuel Marquez and even Eric Morales, and even until 2015 when he locked arms with the best pound-for-pound boxer ever to witness on the face of the earth, talking about Floyd Mayweather. This man can do no wrong in the eyes of Filipinos. I spoke to a few of them this morning, and it was a bittersweet tale. They were like, "Oh, finally, he's superhuman." Like they felt he was gonna go on and on and on. And even at the age of 40, he won a world title. Yes, he lost them last August, and at some point, he just has to call time on his career, and he's induced by politics. We know he has been a senator in the Philippines since the year 2016, and his desire is to become the president of the country. Calling time, because I still recall in 2008 when he ended the career of Oscar de la Hoya, the Golden Boy. He just kind of elevated him far higher than normal human beings, but he's human after all. And at some point, age will catch up. And what better time to quit boxing and focus on public service with the aim of becoming the president of the Philippines?
All right, let's quickly listen to Manny Pacquiao, his goodbye message. And of course, we'll spare a thought for his ambition.
It is difficult for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over. Today, I am announcing my retirement. I never thought that this day would come. As I hang up my boxing gloves, I would like to thank the whole world, especially the Filipino people, for supporting Manny Pacquiao. Goodbye, boxing. To the boxing fans all over the world, thank you very much. I deeply appreciate your love and support. Thank you for always praying for me and watching my fights through the years. Who would have thought that Manny Pacquiao will end up with 12 major world titles in 8 different weight divisions? Even me, I am amazed of what I have done. Thank you for changing my life. When my family was desperate, you gave us hope. You gave me the chance to fight our way out of poverty. Because of you, I was able to inspire people all over the world. Because of you, I have been given the courage to change more lives. I will never forget what I have done and accomplished in my life that I can't imagine. I just heard the final bell. Tapos na ang boxing.
Very emotional, Manny Pacquiao there. I mean, saying goodbye. But Kayode, let's talk about it quickly. Professional sports. We've seen an example of George Weah, professional footballer, went on to become the president of Liberia. And let me also throw a funny one into it. Former Ugandan President Idi Amin was an heavyweight champion. Most people, most people don't know. It was light, I think, light heavyweight champion in Uganda before he became president. You know, and he wasn't a professional sportsman; he was a military man. But I'm just saying, history is full of examples of people who were sportsmen and later became, you know, politicians, and example of George Weah becoming president. So a quick one on his chances of becoming the president of his nation.
Just the segue, even Madiba Nelson Mandela was a boxer at some point. That's just done, by the way. For Manny Pacquiao, as a senator, he has done quite well. I did follow a few of his philanthropic endeavors in the Philippines. For someone who fought his way out of poverty, so he understood how to connect with his community and the society at large, and that he was able to do successfully, which kind of aided him in becoming a senator. And trying to vie for the number one office in the Philippines would be quite difficult when you have the current president, holding tightly to office, and the fact that it would need a solid platform away from the heroics of boxing. Public service is a different kettle of fish, and he will have to prove his mettle there. For George Weah, it wasn't easy for him because he first lost to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, then went back to school, became a lawmaker, then vied for the office again before he won not too long ago. Who knows if similar pattern will be the way of Pacman talking about Manny Pacquiao. He's well loved, no doubt, but the political terrain in different countries are quite different. He understands what is the expectations from his people are, but when it comes to politics, it's about the number one office in the world. It's going to be quite difficult. It's not impossible. And even if he fails in his attempt, he could try again and again. And after a while, he could get to win. Abraham Lincoln tried a few times before he became the president of the United States, though he wasn't a sportsman. But for Manny Pacquiao, he's got a good lot of people going for him. But to win the election as president of the Philippines might not be quite easy, but it is not impossible.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's a different terrain. All right, let's go quickly to the UEFA Champions League. That's where we're going to hand it all on the show tonight. Let's give you the results. It's going from bad to worse for Barcelona. They currently trail Benfica by 3 goals. That's it on your screen. Robert Lewandowski, of course, anytime Bayern plays, it's going to be on the score sheet. So we start with Group D. Bayern currently leading 4-0 against Dynamo Kiev. And, of course, Benfica hammering Barcelona 3 goals. All right, let's go to the other groups. You look at Atalanta and Young Boys. That game is concluded already. Matteo Pessina scoring for Atalanta. Manchester United were trailing, but they've drawn level with Villarreal. It's 1-1 now. Close to we're in the dying moments of the game. RB, FC Salzburg and Lille. Salzburg lead 2-1 in that game. Wolfsburg and Sevilla. Wolfsburg currently leading by a lone goal. Then in Group H, you have Zenit St. Petersburg hammering Malmo. That game has been concluded as well. 4-0 in that one. And Juventus currently leading in spite of the possession and everything Chelsea did. Juventus leading a goal by Federico Chiesa in the 46th minute. Is given Juve, might just give Juve victory in this one. Kayode, I want to get your thoughts on these results coming in, and of course we're in the dying moments, but I don't know, I want you to spare a thought for Barcelona. It's just it looks like they're not the Barcelona we know. It's just it's sad seeing all of this happen to them.
Well, it seems like the end of the road for Ronald Koeman, and things are moving from bad to worse. And being pummeled against Benfica, I saw a few clips of the first half, and it wasn't impressive at all. Who knows? Maybe the handlers at Barcelona might just have to look in another direction because they're struggling. And in the aftermath of Messi, one would have thought they would have tried to get their house together, but it's not to be. But quickly going into the game between United and Villarreal, I've been following that game, and United are struggling. And Villarreal are using the weakest link, who is Dalot. They've been trying to penetrate the fullback, talking about the right fullback, and that means they got a goal before They equalized not too long ago. But United will witness that this Champions League is far from good, and they could be better. For Chelsea against Juventus were kept on the back foot, but somehow they managed to get a goal, and the fans at home are roaring at their best now because Chelsea actually are giving them a run for their money. It's what you would expect at the early days of Champions League, and surprises like we did witness yesterday when the Moldovan side did got the scarf of 13-time winners of the UEFA Champions League, talking about Real Madrid. These are the stuff that the UEFA Champions League are made of, and one can only hope that it keeps getting better for avid football followers and, of course, for the players themselves.
All right. Before I let you go, I mean, put Bayern in the equation, and I'm getting feedback that it's now Bayern 5, Dynamo Kiev 0. I mean, Bayern still showing that they're a very strong side.
Well, they make the German look like secondary school team because it's always been Bayern. They get to buy best players from the other clubs, and the other teams are finding it difficult to compete against Bayern Munich, and they've been able to translate that to the continent on a consistent basis. They won the Champions League a few years by getting the scarf of PSG, and they always get to the knockout stage, say the quarterfinals or the semifinals. And one man who can do no wrong right now is Robert Lewandowski, who has been in among the goals, and he can't just stop scoring. I wouldn't say they are early favorites right now, but trust the team from Germany, talking about Bayern Munich, to get all the way as far as the elimination stage because they look like they are unstoppable right now in the Bundesliga and right now in the Champions League.
All right, quick one before I let you go. Manchester City, PSG, Lionel Messi broke the dog, scored his first goal for PSG. And some are already pointing accusing figures at Pep Guardiola. But some are also defending him. He didn't do anything wrong. But your thoughts on that game as we prepare to wrap things up on the show?
Well, I think the better team won, and it was Paris Saint-Germain yesterday. For Lionel Messi, finally, he has gotten a goal. So the critics can at least let go of him so he can settle in to the team and start scoring. I recall last season as well, he didn't start scoring until about the fifth or the sixth Premier Division game. And for the world footballer or somebody who has won the World Footballer of the Year a number of times, leaving Spain, that has been his base for decades, would take a while for him to acclimatize, settle into the team, talking about Paris right now, and gradually is getting to add his inclusion and make his inclusion count in the team. And what a way to score a goal with the tip-top between himself and Kylian Mbappe. And that will ease the tension going forward in the league and, of course, on the continent. Messi, no doubt, is a great footballer, and we'll see him do that with PSG in the games to come.
All right. Okay. So that's a good place to leave it. First, Carrie, Ahmed, I want to thank you for your time on the show. It's always fun doing this with you. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Thank you very much, Amy. Next week again.
All right. So that's it on the show. We do hope you enjoyed what we've been able to bring to you on the abridged version of the show today. We're back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.